Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Russ Riesinger. As if there wasn't enough to worry about in this new coronavirus world, tonight we bring your attention to COVID-19 scams. Yeah, there are a lot of scammers pouncing on the pandemic to prey on people's fears to the tune of millions of dollars. MTN's Jay Cohn gets some help tonight from the Better Business Bureau to expose some of these notorious ripoffs.
Con artists are using all of their wits. They're using all of their time. They're putting in, the equivalent of a full-time job or more in many cases to scamming people. They are good at it, and the things that they do are convincing.
That's Hannah Stiff, Montana Director for the Better Business Bureau, warning all of us that the coronavirus pandemic has become a playground for online thieves. Not only are new scams popping up, but old scams are back with a COVID-19 twist, like the grandparent scam.
Your loved one is in the hospital. They need money right away so that they can get access to care, so that they can be a lucky person who gets a ventilator. So it preys on fear, which is a lot of scams are predicated on that fear, and a sense of urgency. Pay now so something terrible doesn't happen.
As you can imagine, the internet is also filled with fake COVID-19 tests, cures, and alleged vaccines.
There is no cure for the coronavirus yet. We have no vaccine. There is no pill, no magic potion, no incense, no essential oil that is going to prevent you from getting the coronavirus. So people need to be very wary as these things are popping up all over social media.
Another thing to be wary of, anyone reaching out to help you get your government stimulus check.
I could get you that money quicker. For example, if you just pay me a little upfront fee, I'll expedite your check to you. Or they'll say, I just need a little bit more information from you to get you that check. I need your bank account, of course, so that I can direct deposit it for you.
Here's some red flags to be aware of, telltale signs that you're being scammed. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Are you being pressured to act right now? Is it impossible to actually talk to a real person? Are you being asked to use weird forms of payment, such as gift cards or money transfers? And you can't verify any of their website information. One of the most common schemes is buying pets online. The website pictures are real, but that's about it.
The person who claimed to be a breeder would show up, they'd say they would show up at the airport and there would be an extra fee for a crate because it had to be just the right crate to fly the animal. Then there was insurance for the pet to fly them to you. And so you can't substantiate any of this because you're at home. You can't go pick up the pet because we've all been in quarantine. So a lot of people are losing big bucks. We know that in Montana, the median dollar loss for a puppy scam is $551.
The good news is the BBB offers multiple online resources to help you be scam aware. Their scam tracker allows people to share their experience and actually tracks the latest ripoffs in real time. As you might imagine, people that are victimized by scams are embarrassed. They feel they should have known better. It all points out the importance of alerting authorities and reporting scam attempts to the BBB so they can then spread the word and hopefully help others from falling victim as well. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
All right, thanks, Jay. Important advice. Price gouging is defined as outrageous pricing to take advantage of a crisis. Any price increase more than 15% is illegal and should be reported. You can also report price gouging to the Better Business Bureau. Since January, price gouging complaints to the BBB have increased by 279%. Another high school commencement ceremony has been altered because of COVID-19. Parents and students heard about the plans for the class of 2020 at Billings Central. The date and time are the same, Sunday, May 24th at 6 p.m. The layout will change at the Nellis Center with about 400 people instead of the normal up to 1,500. Each graduate will be able to have 4 family members in reserved seating. Temperature checks, masks, and distancing will be part of the graduation, and the mass will not be part of the ceremony.
Much smaller, much more low-key than it usually is, but we still want to make sure that we bring our faith base into their final experiences at Billings Catholic schools. They're just so happy that we get to have a graduation, that members of their family will get to see them walk across the stage and get the accolades that they have so richly deserved.
Laurel High School also put out some plans this week. The graduation is tentatively planned for May 24th At Laurel's football stadium, each graduate will be allowed to bring 4 guests. Well, it seems there could be some sour grapes coming from other states when it comes to how much federal stimulus dollars Montana received. A recent Associated Press analysis shows that some smaller population states like Wyoming, Montana, and Alaska scored big when it comes to getting direct federal aid, but that these states are not epicenters of the coronavirus pandemic. Montana took some $1.5 billion in aid designed to address virus-related expenses. The report says for some states that money equals to roughly $2 million per positive case. But by comparison, New York received only about $24,000 per positive case. Meanwhile, Montana's delegation is standing by their persistence to secure that funding. We reached out to both Senator Daines and Senator Tester regarding this report. Their offices responded saying the aid is crucial to keep small businesses open and workers employed and help families make ends meet. Well, the BNSF Railway is closing several mechanical facilities and eliminating some 344 jobs as it adapts to the declining coal industry. According to company documents obtained by K2 Radio News in Wyoming, the diesel shop in Glendive is included among those closures. 2 Wyoming mechanical facilities, one at Donkey Creek, one at Guernsey, will also be permanently closing. Those 2 closures alone will result in the loss of about 122 jobs. Donkey Creek will be closing on July 5th, while Guernsey and the Glendive diesel shop will cease operations on July 7th. The vice president of BNSF Mechanical Division did say that a portion of the employees will have an opportunity to transfer. So far in 2020, more than 400 jobs have been cut at Powder River Basin coal mines, including 130 layoffs at 2 mines owned by Navajo Transitional Energy Company in Montana and Wyoming. Well, Governor Steve Bullock says thousands of Montanans are applying for new emergency grants aimed at helping those hit hardest by COVID-19, and some have already been approved for assistance. Earlier this week, Bullock announced new grant programs with up to $123 million available for individuals, businesses, and organizations. That money comes from the Federal CARES Act, and Bullock said during a news conference today that 2,000 applications were started within 15 minutes of the filing window opening. 5,500 small businesses in the state have applied for just one of the programs, a stabilization grant that for those that have lost revenue. 150 have been approved for the funding.
It's clear from the thousands of businesses applying for one program alone that Montana and Montana businesses need support getting through this difficult time. The agencies operating these grant programs have enlisted additional staff to review applications and get the funds out as quickly as possible.
One of the grant programs offers funding for local and tribal health agencies for COVID-19 response, including expanded contact tracing. Bullock said half of Montana's reported cases have been found through contact tracing. Some 41 agencies have already applied for that funding. Well, the state today reporting 2 new coronavirus cases out of Gallatin County. Those cases both reported out of Gallatin that late yesterday afternoon. We told you about them yesterday. The state COVID map shows as of midnight, 22 active cases in Montana and 6 people hospitalized. Still, for most of Montana, the news continues to be pretty good. Now, however, it's not the same for Montana's neighbors as they continue to see an uptick in cases. South Dakota saw 239 new cases today as tests from the meat plant continue to funnel in. They have now seen more than 3,000 cases there. North Dakota reported 54 new cases today and has seen just under 1,500 total cases. Wyoming came in with 9 new cases today, now sits at 490 total cases, but also has 154 probable cases. And COVID-19 continuing to wreak havoc on popular summer events throughout the Magic City this year. Summer Fair and Symphony in the Park were scheduled to be paired together from June 26th through the 28th at Pioneer Park, but that will no longer be the case. Yellowstone Art Museum will now be moving Summer Fair from the park to the Cloud. That event will feature both national and local artists, but will be online from June 22nd until the 28th. Food trucks will still be on site at the Yellowstone Art Museum so visitors can experience some tasty treats from around the Magic City. Meanwhile, the Billings Symphony Orchestra and Choral were forced to cancel this summer's Symphony in the Park. Other popular events canceled this year, the Strawberry Festival and the Heart and Soul Run. Another event that would have been getting underway This weekend that draws thousands of people to Custer County each spring is the Bucking Horse Sale. Its cancellation means the loss of millions of dollars changing hands in Miles City, according to John Laney, the executive director of the Miles City Area Chamber of Commerce.
Has a huge effect on so many people. You really wouldn't think about it. Obviously, the organizing body has the loss of revenue, but the hotels, the businesses, it's like a second Christmas for our economy. And then you also go along with, we have so many nonprofits that do fundraising that weekend because there are so many people in.
Laney says interstate traffic coming into Miles City has dwindled during the shutdown. That's adding to the economic hurt caused by COVID-19 in a county that has not seen one single case of the disease. He says some people are understandably frustrated.
These people are, why are we worried? We don't have it. It's not here. We should be able to do whatever we want. Well, you fall back to something like the Bucking Horse Sale. You bring in 5,000 people to the fairgrounds on a Saturday. That's not a healthy, pardon pun, situation. But yeah, they are, and it's hard not to be that way. It's been a long time.
Laney says it's going to be a tough summer for tourism and all the people who depend on it. But he also says folks in Miles City are amazing for helping one another. And if there's going to be a quick recovery, he says that's where it's going to happen. Head on tonight's 5:30 News. Idaho may be the potato state, but this week the Magic City turns into Potato City. And in sports, Scott sets up a solid weekend from the PBR to the golf course.
And coming up in the weather, we've had a few scattered sprinkles in here today, and we already know that things are going to be a little cool over the weekend, but will there be any more rain? We'll talk about your Mother's Day forecast coming up in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger, Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire, and sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.